July 18, 2025. It was a day armies around the world had marked on their calendars, waited for with trembling hands, and counted down to with teary anticipation. At exactly midnight KST, BTS officially released their first ever live concert album titled Permission to Dance on Stage Live. And within minutes, the world stood still. This isn't just another album. This is a symbol of return, a symbol of unity, a symbol of a promise kept. The album features live audio recordings from some of the most iconic stops of BTS's historic stadium tour: Seoul, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and more. Each track pulses with the raw energy of the stage, the electric roar of thousands of voices singing in unison, and the emotional connection between BTS and their fans that defies language or borders. For many fans, this album is more than music. It's memory, emotion, history. It's been over 2 years since all 7 members stood on stage together. With Jin, J-Hope, and Suga now discharged, and RM, Jimin, V, and Jungkook nearing the end of their service, this album arrives like the sun after a long winter, reminding the world of BTS's unmatched stage presence and their unbreakable bond with ARMY. The tracklist reads like a love letter to fans. On, the thunderous anthem of resilience. Black Swan, the haunting confession of artistic fear. Dynamite, Butter, and Permission to Dance, the global hits that carried us through the pandemic. Spring Day, the eternal comfort track, recorded live and dripping with emotion. Each performance is raw, real, and intensely emotional. Fans have noted that Jungkook's vocals sound especially heartfelt, while Jimin's falsettos pierce with renewed vulnerability. RM's voice carries the weight of leadership, and Jin's harmonies, after a long hiatus, feel like a long-lost friend returning home. Even before the official release, ARMY's organized the global streaming event, with synchronized playtimes across dozens of countries. Hashtags like PTD Live Out Now, BTS is back, and First Live Album trended worldwide. Within 2 hours of release, the album hit #1 on iTunes in over 90 countries. On Weverse, HYBE's fan platform, comments flooded in. It feels like they never left. I'm crying hearing their voices together again. This album healed a part of me I didn't know was broken. The album doesn't come with elaborate promotions or flashy concepts. No music video, no comeback stage. Why? Because the message is clear. BTS wants the music and their live bond with ARMY to speak louder than any visuals. This is a quiet comeback, but it's also one of the most powerful. Jin once said in 2022, "Even if we're apart, music will keep us connected." Now, in 2025, that promise echoes in every song, every cheer, every note in Permission to Dance on Stage. The emotional gravity of Permission to Dance on Stage live is hard to overstate. ARMYs didn't just press play. They relived moments they had stored in their hearts for years. For many, it brought back memories of the pandemic, when BTS's virtual concerts were a rare light in global darkness. But this album isn't just a time capsule. It's a bridge from the past, through the separation of military enlistments, to the future they've all been waiting for. Social media platforms became digital confession spaces. Hearing Jungkook's live vocals again after so long, I broke down. This album reminded me why I stayed, waited, hoped. I don't think I've ever felt this proud to be part of a fandom. Videos of ARMYs crying while listening or organizing local streaming parties, or even blasting the songs in cars and cafes quickly went viral. In Seoul, a cafe played the album on repeat, and fans quietly gathered to listen, some smiling, some with tears in their eyes, others simply swaying in silence. What sets this album apart isn't just that it's live, it's BTS live. Every breath between lyrics, every cheer from the crowd, every improvised vocal run and raw emotion reminds us why BTS is a phenomenon that goes beyond K-pop. The group's chemistry, even through audio alone, is palpable. Jungkook's Euphoria live version, for instance, hits harder. Soaring vocals layered with crowd chants. Jimin's filter felt more sensual, more alive. And when the group comes together for We Are Bulletproof, The Eternal, you can feel the bond, not just between members, but between them and every fan who waited. The live rendition of Spring Day was particularly emotional. As the crowd sings along, you hear sobs, literal sobs from the audience. For fans, it was more than nostalgia. It was closure, a reminder that spring did come. Critics who once dismissed BTS as a trend are eating their words. Korean media outlets hailed the album as a historic release for the K-pop industry, while US publications called it a strategic yet heartfelt soft comeback. Billboard, in its early review, wrote, "The timing is masterful. Releasing a live album after years of silence is BTS's way of reintroducing themselves, not with flash, but with authenticity. This is BTS in their purest form." Rolling Stone stated, "This live album captures what K-pop idols rarely show in official releases: human imperfection, emotional honesty, and the roar of real-time love." Even Korean President Kim Young-jin congratulated the group via social media for bringing pride and unity through music once again. This release was more than a treat. It was a signal, a coded message that BTS is warming up. The group didn't need a teaser photo or a comeback countdown. Just the music, just them. And the message landed. "Wait for us," Jin had whispered at his enlistment. J-Hope had echoed, "We'll be back." And now, with this album, they are back, one step at a time. Sources from HYBE confirmed this album is just the first wave. The group will reportedly begin recording a brand new full studio album in September 2025, with the global press conference planned for December, followed by a 2026 world tour. And according to internal insiders, this live album was handpicked and approved by all 7 members, some of whom worked remotely from military bases to finalize mixes. That's how important this project was to them. The fact that they chose Permission to Dance as the album's title track also carries meaning, a reminder that even when the world stood still, we never lost our right to hope, smile, and dream. ARMYs didn't just survive the hiatus, they grew. They supported solo debuts, they wrote letters, they kept the purple light burning in quiet corners of the internet. And now, as Permission to Dance on Stage Live plays across speakers worldwide, it feels like the boys are saying, "Thank you for waiting, we didn't forget you, and we're not done." The chapter has reopened, the dance has begun, and BTS is once again center stage, not just on the charts, but in the hearts of millions. Within hours of the album's drop, global ARMYs launched #Project Livestream, a coordinated streaming initiative to boost the album's visibility and break records. Unlike a typical release, this wasn't about a music video premiere or single chart placement. It was about honoring the wait, welcoming BTS back, and showing the world that the fandom had only grown stronger. Fan bases from Korea, the US, Brazil, Japan, the Philippines, and more launched synchronized playlists, time zone guides, and how to stream properly threads on X, formerly Twitter. Major fan accounts posted, "Let's show them we're still here. Let's make the ground shake again." This isn't just about charts. This is about gratitude. 7 voices, 1 fandom, 1 purpose. Within 24 hours, the album reached #1 on iTunes in 94 countries, top 3 on Apple Music's global chart, over 12 million streams on Spotify on its first day, top 10 on Japan's Oricon digital album chart. It wasn't the kind of flashy comeback that dominates YouTube. It was organic, fan-powered, and deeply emotional. This is what happens when 7 artists and millions of fans share the same heartbeat. At a glance, Permission to Dance on Stage Live may seem like a simple concert compilation, but fans noticed something curious. The setlist was carefully chosen, possibly symbolizing BTS's personal and collective journey through the past 5 years. Let's take a closer look. On. Opening with this song sets the tone. It was their last comeback before the pandemic. By leading the album with On, BTS seems to be saying, "We never stopped." Black Swan. This isn't just a performance, it's a confessional. Fans pointed out that hearing this live again, now that we know everything they've been through, burnout, separation, enlistment, feels heavier, more personal. Dynamite and Butter, these summer pop hits carried armies during lockdown. Placing them in the middle of the album feels like a nostalgic hug. Life Goes On, a reminder from 2020 that still rings true in 2025. Spring Day, of course, the unofficial anthem of longing, hope, and reunion. Its inclusion, performed live, voices cracking with emotion, was no coincidence. We Are Bulletproof, the Eternal. As the closing track, it hit like a farewell and a promise. We were only 7, but we have you all now. It's a message of survival, of community, of faith. Fans around the world commented that even though it's a live album, they could hear the growth in each member's voice. This wasn't the same BTS from 2019. This was BTS after solitude, service, silence, and separation. Jin. His voice sounds fuller, more resonant. Some noted that his harmonies in Epiphany and group tracks carried more weight, possibly a result of his solo tour preparation. But what stood out most was the vulnerability in his ad-libs. It sounded like he was singing not just to ARMY, but with them. Suga. His energy on stage was intense. Fans felt his emotional catharsis in every verse, especially on Dachita and his rap lines in Oon. You can hear the grit in his voice. He sounds like someone who's seen the storm and walked out the other side. J-Hope. J-Hope's charisma translates even through audio. He injects joy, power, and pure stage command into every track. His flow and outro, Ego, and Gantz breaks were crisp and exhilarating, even just in sound. RM. Namjoon's delivery was calm, poetic, and controlled. His raps on Persona and Black Swan have matured. Many fans noted that RM now sounds more reflective, as though each word is weighed carefully, a voice shaped by growth, grief, and global responsibility. Jimin. Jimin's emotional fragility and raw vocal tones melted listeners. Lie and Serendipity were fan favorites. His vibrato trembling slightly in moments that made ARMY cry. His high notes aren't just technical anymore, they're storytelling. V. Taeyong's deep, soulful register added a unique color to the album. On songs like Singularity and Stigma, his voice felt more grounded. It's as if the time apart made his delivery more intimate, more aching. He didn't just perform, he mourned, remembered, and reconnected. Jungkook. The golden maknae shined brighter than ever. His stamina, vocal agility, and control stunned fans. Even live, his ad-libs in Euphoria and My Time are pitch perfect. But what broke listeners most were his emotional cracks in Spring Day. His voice broke at Nel wi haseramyon, which means if it's for you. And I just sobbed, one fan wrote. This live album, though released quietly, now stands as a cornerstone. For many, this is the real beginning of BTS Chapter 2. While no full group comeback date has been confirmed, HYBE insiders have dropped hints. Studio time for new songs has been booked in Los Angeles and Seoul. A full group album is rumored for Q2 of 2026. Global press events and media partnerships are reportedly in the works. A 2026 world tour could begin as early as August next year, with stadium bookings under negotiation. BTS hasn't officially spoken together as Seven in over 2 years, but this album, it speaks volumes. In 2022, ARMY waited with pain, with fear, with uncertainty. But in 2025, we wait with proof in our hands, with their voices in our ears, with hope in our hearts. BTS is coming back. They never really left. And when they return to that stage, under the spotlight, with 7 microphones and 7 shadows behind them, the world will stop again, just like it did on July 18th.